This is a smoking machine. It is used to test the nicotine and tar content of various brands of cigarettes. This is a smoking machine. If you took all the cigarettes in the world and laid them in...
Have you ever thought of what happens when you smoke a cigarette?
Time to smoke a single one. Now,
Smoke now, pay later.
Like father, like son. Think about it.
I'd have to be a fool to not acknowledge the dangers of smoking. I mean, there's been so much research and proof done that it's an undeniable fact that one day it's going to get me cancer. But going to enjoy the ride. My name is Juliet, and I am from Parkersburg, West Virginia. I'd say I just enjoy the whole process. I enjoy lighting it, inhaling. It's like a reward at the end of the day. I don't really think of my mortality while I'm doing it. It's more like reward. My first cigarette that I ever smoked was when I was around 6 or 7 years old. There was like a half-smoked cigarette, so I stole a lighter from my parents, 'cause they all smoked. And I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try what the adults do. And so I lit it and I smoked it, took a hit, and I was like, oh, it's awful. Why did they do that? And now we're here.
Wait a minute, Julia. Say, you know, I almost forgot something.
Forgot what, Bob?
To offer you one of the new ones. Dunhill King Size with new cork tips.
Say, cork tip Dunhills are wonderful, aren't they, Bob?
Oh, they certainly are, Julie. And don't you forget, folks, that in just 1 week all over the country, you'll be able to get Dunhill King-size cigarettes with new cork tips. Cork tips to protect your lips.
But the first person I remember really smoking a lot growing up was my father and my grandmother, God, and my mother. Everybody in my family really smoked. It was just a thing they did. It's not a good habit to have. I think it's just part of a stress relief. We all need our vices, and we inconvenience ourselves for these vices. It's just a sacrifice. I don't know. Maybe if life wasn't so stressful, we wouldn't have to inconvenience ourselves for such pleasure. I think we all feel that way, that there's something missing in us, a gap to fill, if you will. I don't think there's anything that ever will fill that gap. I think it's just another aspect of life that we have to deal with, is never really feel complete. I think we all put a lot of stress on ourselves to be better and to reach things that realistically we just are never going to reach. When we put such heavy expectations on ourselves, it leads to this feeling of emptiness inside of us. Maybe that's why we all have these vices. My biological family, there was a lot of drug usage about. My father actually died of a heroin overdose. So every time I use recreational drugs, very considerate of what I do, how I do it, because drugs ruin families. You know, my story is not an original one. Life is a struggle. We need our releases. We must inconvenience ourselves for the releases. But life can also be easy and beautiful if you look at it right. Just keep going and live for those beautiful moments. And just be able to have a different perspective on things, to look at things from a different angle. I think that's a huge skill. I'd like to think I'm going to quit one day. I know I can. I've gone through phases of being completely nicotine-free, but there's always something that comes up. Like last time it was finals hit, and I was like, whew, I need a cigarette right now. But one day I want to have a family. I don't want my family to see me smoking a cigarette. It's a bad impression to leave on kids. I'd say that's a big reason I smoke now. We just watch them do it. So one day I will quit. But today's not the day. And tomorrow won't be either. But it'll come.